A rescue mission, the mystery of the Iron Tangle, fighting a god, and onward to the 5th floor. Hello, crawlers, and welcome to our episode 11, if we're keeping count that way, and our final episode of covering book 3 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook. It's been a while since I've had to say it.
Yeah. Anarchist.
Yeah. What'd I say?
Anarchist.
Anarchists and Arkham.
It's
Anarchist.
Anarchist.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the only correction I'm going to need today, I'm sure. We missed you, Martin. We missed you last week.
I missed you guys too. I really wanted to talk about that section of the book because I loved it.
Well, I will say that no one else in the comments missed you. It was like you weren't even here and they didn't.
That's fair.
Just kidding. It was like relentless to the point where I was like, all right, shut up, guys. They're like, what? No, there's no Martin. We need to have Martin.
But I'm not the expert. You guys are the experts.
Okay, so the thing is, most people have read the book, right? That are like listening to us. So they really love to see that first impression that you get.
Oh, okay.
They're very excited.
Okay, all right. I thought it might be the opposite where I'm talking and they already know everything and they're like, wish this guy would shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
There's no insight here.
No, people like to relive their first experience with something they love by turning somebody else onto it.
Okay,
So,
all right, okay.
Yeah, they don't even care about us, dude.
I mean, the first thing that I do when we sit in this room is like, Martin, what'd you think about this?
That's true.
Yeah, I just immediately start doing it.
Speaking of which, I'm Grant.
I'm John.
And I'm Martin.
And I never remember to introduce us, but we're doing that this time.
Yeah, because we know each other.
Yeah. So this episode, we are covering book 3, the Dungeon Anarchists Cookbook. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Chapters 28 through the end of the book. That means that the next episode we release will be covering book 4. And we have a homework assignment for you. That's going to be chapters 1 through 6.
The end of 6.
The end of 6.
Oh, it's so short.
It's short for a couple reasons.
Okay.
One, it's a very long book.
Oh, it is?
It's a pretty long book. And the second reason is actually that we've been trying to cover a lot in these episodes.
Yeah.
And it feels like when we're trying to do 10 chapters, we kind of like our episodes are just long, which you guys might love it, but it seems like
it wears on you after a while.
we're kind of rushing through it and we would like to be able to take our time a little bit more. And so we're going to try that with the next book.
Okay.
So chapters 1 through 6, it'll be a nice, I still think it's like as far as the audiobook is concerned, it's 3.5 hours instead of 4.5 hours.
Okay.
So it's still a good meaty chunk.
Yeah.
All right. It's a gross term. Meaty chunk.
I don't like that.
It's fine when you're eating stew.
And as a reminder, we will be taking another week off between this episode and the next one.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be back in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds good.
If we surprise you guys with extra content that's completely unplanned right now, we fully plan to do that, take a week off. But if you end up seeing Rubio doing puppet theater, reenacting the first book with puppets, that was unplanned.
Okay, I don't know why you bring up this. We might have unplanned content. Rubio's going to do it.
You know exactly why I do this.
Right, because you're an ass.
Because I'm an ass.
Well, he's committed you to it now, so.
Yeah, not going to happen.
So, one other thing I did want to touch on is we've been getting some comments from a couple people online, and comments, you know how they are. But it was that a few different people were kind of bemoaning the fact that we were having political commentary, I guess, in this book series.
Yeah, we mentioned the critical drinker and talking about like he, was a movie reviewer who then became a, right-wing kind of commentator, I guess. He does movie reviews and talks about how, it's like the woke agenda and all this other stuff. And we talked about that in context of, fans asking Matt Dinniman about, why he's in the book.
Sure. But I noticed within those comments, because I'm like, okay, well, we I guess commented on a guy that maybe some people care about. But then, like, people are like, also, you're kind of putting some political stuff in the episodes. And I just want to say that these are kind of political books in a way. I feel like...
Yes, especially this chapter that we're coming up on.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for us to, like, divorce the two. And okay, I understand that people have different opinions and not everything's going to be for you. If this isn't for you, that's fine. But I'm not going to curb us being able to comment, and we're going through this as a journey for us, and that's how it is.
While it isn't explicitly political, it definitely does have a point of view and very firm stances on certain issues that are political in nature and
could have contemporary parallels.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of this book is kind of holding a mirror to where we are in the world right now. But it was funny to me that these folks who, were defending the critical drinker, they were defending him and saying, like, don't shit on this guy, stick to your book podcast. We don't need you to inject politics into this. You're talking about the critical drinker?
Right.
He's a movie reviewer who literally just talks about politics. It's all just identity politics. And you're going to tell us not to do it? Stop.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know what else is reflecting the politics of today? Everything.
Yes.
It's everywhere. And I don't even, I was like, I'm not even spending any energy apologizing for talking about it because it's everywhere. If you open your phone to look at anything, there's something throwing the politics at you, and we're all being affected by it, and everybody's talking about it. And so for somebody to come in and say, don't talk about that, it's like, well, where are you going to go where it's not going to be talked about? It's like, it's all the controversy about the new Superman movie where it's like, oh, Superman's woke. It's like, look, if Superman is woke, then how is woke a bad thing? It doesn't even compute. But okay, fine. We don't talk about the critical drinker before his politics. I think a lot of our talk about him was about how much he sucked as a voice reader. Is it okay if we stick to that?
Yeah.
Because honestly, he took me out of the book. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, not even realizing who it was. And I'd been a fan of him before you guys told me about, his whole right-wing leaning.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan, but I liked a lot of his videos.
I liked a lot of his early videos, too.
Yeah.
I'm completely unfamiliar with the guy.
No. And even like some of those videos where he talked about the woke agenda, it wasn't so much of him like, oh, it's so woke. He talked about how it was crowbarred into things. And especially the way Disney was doing it, where it's like, this feels really disingenuous. And it's not even helping the product. I get that. But just as his performance, it was in the decision to have him perform, that was not good. So I don't know. I don't know what you prefer, us saying his opinion sucks or that his acting sucks. I mean, it sucks no matter which way you swing it. So it's up to you to decide which thing you want to be offended by.
Yeah.
I think in closing, I would just want to say that, like, this is a hobby project for us. We're not in this as a business. We're not trying to profit, and we're going to make the content we want. So if it's not for you, bye.
He actually got paid to say that by the deep state. As you could tell, he's pushing the woke agenda because there is a Mexican guy.
List in my pocket here.
Yeah, there's a Mexican guy and a black guy on this white guy show. So,
but that's Disney.
By the way, if you're using the term woke, you are just broadcasting everybody that you are a complete piece of shit. Because the history of woke was just something black people said about each other, and then it got co-opted. And in a good way, for a good cause.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of stopped saying it except the right-wing trolls. And it's like, man, anybody who you think is woke doesn't even use that word anymore.
Couldn't you guys steal something better like jazz?
Hey.
What? I'm sorry.
Jazz is cool.
He's talking about the Transformer.
No, that's
now you've gone too far.
I love jazz.
The Transformer.
All right. So I did want to take just a couple minutes to get your thoughts on the previous book section that we didn't get to talk about.
Yeah.
We have the killing of Heckla, Katya being the front of the train. going
even
on the rescue mission,
even before that, when they ran into Frank Q at
getting
the bar.
ring.
Yes, so much stuff happens. I'm finding through this book that it's such an extremely mixed bag because the train stuff is just not doing it for me at all. Everything else is like, wow, this is all I want. This is everything I could have wanted from this. Yes, I love how so many things, like the whole Frank Q thing, that's something in any other writer's hand, it would have dangled and hung out there and then been brought back at the most dramatic moment. And here, that doesn't happen. It comes up quickly.
Casually walks into a bar and there he is.
And there he is. And I love that Frank Q gives out his side of the story. And you go like, oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make me sympathetic towards him. And even he admits it like, hey, man, I can't be mad at you. You were just defending yourself. My wife, however, doesn't see things that way.
Yeah.
But it just added so much dimension to all of it, where it could have been very cut and dried. And then we have the whole aspect of him giving Carl the ring and what this means.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much to go like, I wonder how this will play. And normally you'd be like, well, you know, with at the worst time, that ring is going to mess Carl up. He's going to turn into Gollum. But the way this Matt Denneman writes, you're like, nah, not necessarily.
I love in this part of the book that we're about to cover, when Mordecai finds out about the ring, he's like, take that thing off right now. If you don't take that off before the 6th floor, by God, I'm going to tell Donut to stay the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I had forgotten as well about like the full weight and I guess context of that ring, or like what Mordecai says there. Yeah, so it was just kind of leaning off of what's within that scene itself of I love that he takes off the ring and puts it back on multiple times because he's still unsure himself.
Sure.
And like he knows that the audience is watching him, and Zev's like, yeah, that decision, everyone's loving it.
Yeah, and we're just, everything around them is unreliable. You're in this world where you're just trying to find some kind of constant, and there's not a lot of those. And you're like, all right, Mordecai, he's a constant. He's on our side. Well, lately, not so much. And we got Odette, but then you wonder, okay, what? Zev seems cool, but there's a whole lot of stuff brewing with her, even outside of her control.
Yeah.
I mean, we learned specifically that Odette, and this is more in this part of the book, that Odette was also sponsoring Heckla and her crew, and so she was having it both ways.
Yeah. But there's something about, okay, well, I know that about you. I can write that down in pen, that this is what you were about. At least I think.
Yeah. And from that, I think they do the Planet Beautiful thing, like the voice recording thing for the narration. And somewhere in there, Donut talks about how, oh shit, Chris came in, had an argument with Frank Q and killed him. And then after that, they leave this green room and go into their safe room, and it's full of Brynhild's daughters. And that starts one of my favorite sequences in books, period. Like, I think it's in my top 5 of all-time favorite sequences.
Yeah.
From that moment to almost toward the end of the book, really.
Yeah. The showdown with Heckla was just some of the best I've read in fiction ever.
Yeah.
Because, boiling up and then for it to all, hit the head and the way it went down. And
all the little beats,
all the beats, and especially what was satisfying was Donut getting to see Heckla for what she was.
Yeah, dude.
Because the way she was just worshiping her and Carl having to bite his tongue. And it just felt like Hecla's going to do this and Donut's not going to see any of it. And she totally does and calls her out.
And then she has the big reaction of attacking right away when Carl's like, be cool.
Yeah.
In contrast, like all of them thinking that Carl's like this hothead who can't handle his emotions. He's the one who's like, hey, let's all chill right now. Like they made a play. It didn't work out.
That was one of the most interesting things is that, so the Brunhild's daughters, they all looked at Carl like, well, you're a maniac. Of course. And it's like, that's all the propaganda that's been edited together, and you guys are totally buying into all of this. Not where Carl even like looking at Lucia Mahar is like, maybe she's not as bad as they make her sound.
Well, but there've also been other people outside of the show that, like, what's her name? Clarabelle, the bouncer at the Desperado Club, talked about how Lucia Mahar came in, froze the whole floor, and then her dog started killing people, and then she like just smashed a guy's head in with a mace just for fun while she was laughing, stole a bottle of booze, and then left.
Gotta question their motivation.
Yeah.
Carl, when he got hit by that train, there was the little ram dude who has that other god that he worships, and so he narked on him to the mantar.
Right.
Like, Carl could have gotten away with it, but no, I mean, they all got their motivations. It's a lot of that mechanics.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. So in that scene of like Brynhild's daughters, like there's all this like, oh, I could see them plotting, and then Eva smiles and the smile doesn't reach her eyes. And then there's little moments, like those little details of them leaving the personal space and then stepping over Tizquick while they're walking, like Tizquick the dwarf, like Heckla and Eva step over him, and then Carl sees him like he's crying and stops and comforts him for a little bit. And tells him like these feelings will matter someday,
And he walks on water. All of it feels biblical in a way about Carl.
And then, like strapping Katya to the front of the train, and then Carl touching Katya and then feeling her heartbeat in a weird spot in the front. Like all of these like little bits just do a little 10% crank on the knob of the tension.
Yeah.
And just heighten the thing so much.
Because it's not just tension; it's also like drawing the contrast, right? You're like Brynhild's daughters are like this. Carl and his crew have kindness and compassion. That accidental touch and like the connection between the two, it just reinforces to us that they have history and relationship together, and that there's a wedge between that right now that we don't know of as the audience. So each time it's these little beats that are added in there that just like build this scene more and more, and that's why it became like so
and there's
gripping.
There's so much more depth there too, because there's the whole theme about being abandoned, like Donut being abandoned, and then Heckla abandoning Katya, and then there's all of these like little character bits throughout the whole thing that hit ahead so perfectly, like when everything comes to a crescendo, and Donut lashes out at Heckla when she realizes what Heckla is. At that moment, Heckla is B, and Katya is Donut, and Donut blasts her in the face with a fucking magic missile and screams at her. And like, oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
You also see so much of how Donut felt about B's mom, because she's always on people about, you're just one of these people who's really mean but thinks they aren't mean. She was that way with the HR lady, and she felt that way with Heckla as well. Like, you're fake, and she has no patience with that at all. It's a trigger for her, and especially her thinking about B, and you think about how much she's been deluding herself or trying to, and this is shattering the illusion where it's like I can't pretend anymore.
Do you think that Donut is fake a little bit?
Well,
given that we're kind of getting this idea of like her awareness, like, so how she pretends for the camera.
Yeah, she totally is.
Yeah.
But she's like anybody who projects a certain image of themselves.
I mean, it's survival for her, but in a more metaphorical sense, it's survival for everyone when they kind of put on the guys, I guess.
Yeah. It's just, through so much of this, we're seeing layers and a deeper connection between her and Carl as she's dropping some of the pretense as we keep going.
So it's not as flat as maybe say book one when it's just a guy and a cat in the dungeon.
Yeah. A guy and a sassy cat.
Bit more texture here. Well, then let's jump in and talk about this final section of the book. I do want to say up top before we do that, we're going to touch on not just one, but two crawlers now that are going to be in Death Watch Extreme Dungeon Mayhem.
No.
We got a second one. So very excited about that. Stay tuned at the end. Patreon.com/hellocrawlers. But we're going to jump in with chapter 28. And you've titled this one, Save Them All.
Yeah, it's really all about Carl trying to save as many people as he can.
I love it that everybody keeps wanting to say, Carl, you can't save them all. And he's like, well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of foreshadowing to this and all the interactions that Carl has with Bea about her decision to get rid of Donut, right?
Mhm.
Like she is intent on getting rid of this old show cat and making some money off of her and getting a new kitten. And there's a whole flashback scene, I think in the last portion of the book or this they all blend together. But Carl telling Bea, like, why can't you just you don't just abandon a pet. Like, this is a living thing and you're the only thing that she knows in this world. You can't just like get rid of her. Like, this is Donut. This is our cat, you know? And I think that is a nice little clue into who Carl is at his core. Like he's somebody who doesn't want to betray somebody. He doesn't want to abandon people. He doesn't want to, like, when he takes a responsibility for somebody, he fucking means it.
Well, I mean, he has his own abandonment issues.
Big time.
And some people, you know, for them, it's like, I have to do everything to not be abandoned. But he's more of I have to do everything to not abandon other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people.
He's not questing to be liked or anything.
Yeah, well, some people, their trauma is, I have to project that outwardly, what's put in me. And some people are like, I have to make sure this doesn't happen to other people.
Right.
And he's the latter.
So it's kind of that save the cat turned into the crawlers are now the cat. And he has to save all of the cat crawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all this innocent animal, essentially, that's just being slaughtered by these aliens.
And to Martin's point, we do find out a big reason for that in Carl. At the end of this book. We learn that, it's really heavy, man. Like Carl's mom for his birthday decided to attempt to kill his father and commit suicide because he'd be better off without them.
Which, even reading that, I was like, Mom, you got to talk to somebody first.
Yeah.
I get that the father was abusive. I guess we don't know how much, because it sounded like he just occasionally, you know, engaged in corporal punishment. But for her to take it to that extreme, I was like, it must have been some serious abuse. And we do get some hints of that. And all this time, I was like, it sounds to me like his mother committed suicide. But I'm very curious as to what her plan was, where she would take out the dad and herself.
Can I also say that now knowing that, right? Now knowing that brings a lot more understanding to the part of the book where Carl is like, why didn't I tell Donut? Why didn't I tell Donut that Heckla was planning on taking her, like killing me and taking her?
Yeah.
And then he goes, I know why I thought that. Like, I finally understand why I didn't tell her, is because deep down inside, I think that she'd be better off with them than me. Like, he carries some of that with him, too.
Yeah, that's true.
You think of that. You think of book 2 when he's talking about the circus and his positive memories with his mom about the circus, but then remembering she's actually crying during that scene. And it's like, wait, what have I confused? Like, I mean, that also might speak to this idea that there's suppressed trauma for him, maybe in his relationship as well with his father, that, like, so when we have the scene in a couple chapters where Mordecai is confronting Carl about the ring and Mordecai slaps him.
Yeah.
And he says, like my dad used to do, don't ever do that again. And then, like, a beat later, he kind of makes a joke about, like, haha, please don't hit us again. But I'm like, but the real serious Carl there was the one who said, don't ever do that again. And I feel like that's an echo of his relationship that he had with his dad, and he's not going to take that anymore.
Well, honestly, all things considered, Mordecai is lucky that Carl didn't just take him apart right there.
Freeze in the safe room. I mean, he can't, but yeah. that was it's a wild move, Mordecai.
Yeah, it was. Like
But-
he's kind of out of control.
It's so funny, like going back through this book with you. These are not things that I've thought. I think I kind of have just always put Mordecai on a pedestal
Mhm.
of like, this is this selfless game guy who's just always looked out for him. But you keep pointing out like, no, he's kind of a fuck up. He keeps
no.
screwing him over a lot.
He is like, he's completely a fuck up. Like he's a broken, wrecked human being with tons of problems. Like all of he wears all of his problems all over him and all over his actions.
Yeah, but
Yes.
you do too, and I never noticed.
But what's really fucked up is that, yeah, he does all this and we see it and Carl definitely sees it, but everybody they encounter goes like, man, you guys are so lucky to have Mordecai.
Yeah, it's got to cut both ways.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So I don't know, like if there's anything in particular we need to cover on the first chapter, but it's essentially that they take a train to go save Batista and crew.
Yeah, because the second train that they had never got there.
Yeah, he notices there was some error where it slows down when it hits stuff, and the other one caught up in that 15-minute interval.
And the important thing is they get into an interdiction cart with a portal on it, and like the portal's tuned to train yard E, and on their way, there's a bunch of crawlers on the tracks, and they run into them, and they're like, "Oh, sorry," because those crawlers had no idea that they weren't going to get killed at that moment. And then they, like 2 minutes after that, accidentally teleport a big mimic boss.
A big giant building-sized mimic creature.
Can you describe what that thing looks like? Because
I guess it looks like a train station with like eyes and a mouth. It feels like a Ghostbusters villain.
What they said was when they were driving down the track, it looked like a railroad crossing, like one of those beams.
Yeah.
Across the track, and they're like,
change.
that isn't how that works. And then they just saw part of it move when they hit it with the portal. And then when they looked into the train yard, like that whole thing disappeared. Like the whole building section train station disappeared and ended up a ball of goo in the train yard, reforming into a monster, then a building, and then like it
kind of looked like an industrial building, but also had like a mouth and
teeth and fucking.
And if a part gets cut off, I guess it turns into a spider and crawls back to form.
I just don't know enough about trains, so visually, I just wasn't having the frame of reference for so much of what was happening.
A lot of this is like that. Like these creatures felt a little bit too amorphous, where I'm like, a lot of times I can kind of picture stuff in my mind, and instead I'm just kind of having to take the book as spoken word.
Yeah.
As there's a story, but quit trying to like situate yourself within it visually.
Because there's I guess a portal or a teleportation thing at the front of the train, and whenever it touches something, these things teleport to a different station, but there's an abyss that's swirling.
Yeah, imagine on the front of one of these, like let's say that the cart, right? The train cart that they were using, it's kind of like a smaller vehicle on the train with a big disc on the front of the train, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like a dinner plate mounted to the front of the train.
You played the game Portal?
Yeah.
The blue and the
yeah.
One of those.
Okay.
Yeah, and that thing, it can be tuned, or sometimes is tuned to a different area. And so if something goes through it, as soon as it passes the event horizon of the portal, it'll get sucked all the way in through and land wherever it was tuned to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they were throwing everything to the very end of the line at the junkyard, the abyss.
Yeah.
That's trash. They don't want to deal with monsters and shit. And every time it's people, they're trying to throw it to the front of the line, which was the train yard, I think.
Yeah, the train yard E.
Yeah.
At first, but then they accidentally.
They zap that neighborhood boss to where the people are.
It's a city boss.
City boss.
It's like 2 orders of magnitude larger.
Yes, right. The city boss. And then they're like, oops.
I like Carl being like, uh-oh. Anyway, let's kind of move on. Take a peek in there. The portal. Oh, that looks bad.
I love that we're like trying to ground ourselves when the guy he's going to go save, or the group he's going to go save, is headed up by a guy who looks like an orange Thundercat.
A Thundercat holding Beanie Babies.
That's imaginable.
Yeah.
Oh, is this where we get the explanation about the Beanie Babies then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole part where like Batista's like, yeah, I stole like 1,000 of those from Miss Quill's apartment. and they're like little summon creatures.
Yeah, they're Pokemon.
Yeah,
This just tells me that Matt Dinneman likes Pokemon.
pretty much.
It's like, you like Pokemon.
But yeah, I do like how Bautista is like, yeah, so hey, Carl, look, here's one. And I'm like, hey man, you got 1,000. You can't give up maybe 2 or 3.
At the same time, I was kind of thinking, Carl, you should probably give him your little special one that you don't know about.
Mm.
You got to save everyone else. You got to be selfless, Carl.
Oh, there was a moving part in this because eventually he does end up going to save Bautista's group. And Donut had been like really pissed off about not being able to sell those train conductor caps.
Right. You know what? You and I talked about this last week, and I was like, oh no, she's probably just like being cheeky about it. No, she legit wanted to keep the hats and like condemn everyone. She was like, fuck them. I wanted to sell the hats.
I love it because she's being so virtuous. And then suddenly money just changed her.
Never mind.
Oh man. Yeah. When Bautista and his whole group end up like paying tribute to Donut by putting the hat at her feet, putting hats at her feet after that big raucous applause that they all get, of course, for saving them. Like that little thing, it being Katya's idea, like that was a really heartwarming scene.
Yeah.
And Donut is like composing herself and trying to pretend like she's not moved by it.
Yeah. And I would be like, how fucking embarrassing that everyone had to give it back to you because you want to jeopardize their life.
Well, they don't know that.
Yeah, I would just be like, oh my gosh. Your lack of humanity because you've been a human or human-like for like 2 weeks. All right, so they get back to the personal space. And this is where they, I think they try and run through their upgrades real quick. And Katya gets like a riot shield and baton, which seemed pretty badass.
Yeah, and last time I thought that the box that she opened up was from her benefactor, but this is the actual benefactor's box. Yeah,
and they wanted to open it up so Chaco doesn't show up like after Mordecai gets there. Like, we don't need another scene like that. But after she gets this, I guess Mordecai finally reappears.
Well, Katya's like, oh my God, it's so dirty in here. She's like cleaning. How did blood get on the ceiling? And she's like cleaning stuff, and she's like really trying to tidy the place up.
Right, because she didn't want to watch the recap show.
Yeah.
But Mordecai shows up before that happens because he pops in and then he's like trying to catch up. So a lot of this chapter is kind of retelling what has happened while Mordecai's been gone to him in little bits and pieces. And then the really fascinating part is the confrontation about the ring.
Wait. You're stepping all over the whole punchline.
Wait, I thought that doesn't happen until after the...
She's cleaning the whole thing. Mordecai comes in and goes, hey, where did fuckface go? Blah, blah, blah. And then Katya just explodes in blood. Like, it's literally like one beat to the next.
Okay,
Katya just starts, she gushes blood for 20 seconds.
Yeah, because they suddenly changed the rules.
Yeah, and then everybody's just covered in gore. Katya's got not a drop on her.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot. That was very funny.
And this was after like Mordecai was like, so I've been gone for 7 days. What the hell's happened? Why do you have a fucking skull on your head? And then blood.
I notice in these books, there are these well-crafted and perfectly timed jokes.
Yeah.
And I see some comedians that just have never in their life been able to tell a joke like this book manages to do a couple times a book. This series manages to do a couple times each book. I don't know, that's just an aside.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so Mordecai sees the ring, and I mean, we already touched upon the part with Carl and getting slapped, but I think it's like really fascinating these details about like that is a scary ring. It is a heavily sought after thing by these like tourist poachers that are able to pop in later levels, like from the outside to just come hunt crawlers for game.
They sound like the people who are betting on Squid Game.
Kind of, yeah.
But they also get to kind of, I mean, we see that the maestro gets to be in the Grull, the god body, but these people also get to. It seems like
You don't just roll that in that the maestro.
everyone's read the book.
Yes.
They've all read it, right?
They've all read this.
There's no spoilers at this point. But like, it also seems like crawlers or outsiders can become like hunters in later levels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that means they're vulnerable or they have the same like thing with they're just like Grull.
Well, just on the 6th floor, you can have hunters from the outside that come in, and the whole floor is called the hunting grounds. And apparently, like, a lot of them want to go and collect as many of these rings of divine suffering as they can from crawlers, targeting those crawlers first, because they know that these things will sell for a lot of money to people who are going to be in like further floors, like the rich assholes that are going to end up against the crawlers later on.
Doesn't Mordecai know that Carl's a force to be reckoned with?
Well, he's been gone for 7 days.
Yeah, he doesn't know a lot of shit right now.
He really doesn't. And what he doesn't know is that Carl has the book. He's got the Anarchist Cookbook, which is giving him all kinds of deep intel, which is it's really interesting how he has this and he has this knowledge, but he has to pretend like, oh, I just stumbled across this. Oh, I heard this somewhere. Hey, how'd you know about that? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, what's going on over there?
That happens.
It's very evasive, like I am about my history. Thanks, Mordecai.
That happens a couple of times in this book where Carl will cover his ass by asking Mordecai a question he already knows the answer to.
Only from Mordecai, like, oh, you can't do that, and I would never do that. Okay. Anyway,
I want to get it on the record that I asked him.
Now I'm gonna do it each time. Cool. So. Was there something else you wanted to mention about the ring review?
No, but in this same part of the book, that's when like Mordecai and Katya put their heads together finally and figure out the overall layout of the map and how it's like the logo of the syndicate, but it's also like a bowl of noodles that has a fork through it that's swirled around a bunch. It's just like this chaotic mess. But they've kind of figured out mostly what it is, and talking through it with Carl, he kind of comes the last.
All the train tracks have an upside down. It's like Stranger Things.
There's that, that too.
Yeah, and how that logo, it's all a political joke, a political satire joke.
About
Wait, what?
I know.
There's politics to this?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm done listening.
The whole floor is a kind of racist, anti-apothecary, anti-plenty political cartoon. The apothecary is an element synthesizing collective minds, spreading across the universe. The plenty is a captured race.
Oh, you mean that's like MAGA and Trump, right?
That invented the modern tunneling system using apothecary tech, allowing universal real-time communication. Borant has a stake in the previous non-obsolete communication system. Borant are spreading propaganda to convince viewers that the apothecary will eventually take over.
Anti-science, huh? Okay.
Go figure.
I have one audio clip that I wanted to play in regards to this. Let me make sure my volume's all the way up.
Yeah, not helping. Jesus, fuck. Nobody can follow this.
So many
my favorite line.
So many times in this book specifically that I said that to myself.
Oh yeah. I was like, Carl's my avatar. When I'm at my most confused, he'll come in and say something like that. I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
I've never been so immersed in a book.
I love being like, when I first read this, being like Katya in that moment, trying to figure things out, and then Carl just, no one has time for this shit, and me going, okay, never mind. Put that away.
Why did he say that like in chapter 2 of this book?
Save me some time.
Jesus.
Why wasn't there a forward in the audiobook? Yeah, so they now, okay, things do still get a little confusing for me because Carl starts piecing together that there are these rooms that when it hits one day left, are going to open a portal between the their version and the upside down version.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Do you understand this?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. And so it is, imagine again a tube, right? There's a tube, and on the inside of one is like one part, like the fuck, no, I don't. No, so all the train rails.
That's funny because listen, I was like, I think I'm getting this part, but if you asked me to explain it, it would quickly fall apart.
All
You're
the
like, I
train
guess I
lines have a
don't.
mirror of itself underneath, right? But
Yeah.
between those two mirrored sides, there's a space,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
And then there's like a tube that goes Super Mario kind of connecting the two, right?
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that space that goes horizontal, a T-junction that goes vertical to each of the sides. So that middle part fills with crack heron monsters,
Mhm.
and then they burst through both sides through that middle tunnel.
But where they're bursting through, is that where the actual staircase is? So they have to wait and like kill through them to get to the staircase?
The staircases are in a semicircle around that thing.
That's the noodle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So there was a semicircle of like 5 staircases
In the Mario tube.
in a circle around the opening of the Mario tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of get it. I did think that the cart with the portal in front of it got used to mass effect, I think, throughout this book. They're using it every time they can for every little maneuver here and there. They're zapping people left and right. And then Carl's like, yeah, let's also take that same thing for us
Yeah.
and just point it down. And I'm like thinking of all these other humans that are just fucked. If they're around there, they're just like, oh, we're going to die. This is like Halo. They're just spilling out nonstop at us.
Oh man, I love it when it finally happens and all these monsters start coming out and people in the chat are like, "Oh my god, it's happening! Oh, what the hell's happening?" And the girl's like, that's exactly like what the bomber guy said was going to happen." It's like, "Oh, we didn't think it was going to happen like this." No, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
It was going to happen exactly like this. And then the response is, "Fuck you, bitch."
As he dies.
That part made me laugh. I went back and I listened to that whole thing like 5 times.
He didn't say it would happen this bad. Gwendolyn, do it.
Are you on crack? This is exactly what he said was going to happen. It's literally the exact thing he warned you about. Now clear the chat.
Ronaldo, cue you. Fuck you, bitch!
Yeah, I think the voices back and forth, again, if you listen to the audiobook, it's very rewarding. It's very enriching.
Yeah, if you don't like listening to audiobooks, maybe make it your second run through. Like maybe the second time you go through this, just do the audiobook. Read it the first time. I have all the books. I've been going and doing like the behind the scenes at the Pineapple Cabaret at the end of all of these hardcovers.
Oh, right. We have one of the books over here.
Mhm.
I need to read that. We can discuss it.
Yeah. And just try the audiobooks when you can as your second go through.
Definitely.
They're pretty amazing. I got to say.
All right. So they said about trying to, I like that each time Carl gets information, he never hesitates. He puts in the group chat. He's trying to let people learn, like know the same things as he learns them.
Which is a great counterpoint to earlier everybody in the book that were like not telling everybody everything that they knew. Now it's literally, let's tell everybody everything immediately.
Yeah. We're all learning collectively, and we're going to use that as a strength to fight against the enemy. And I think like as they continue to do that, it makes it us versus the enemy.
Yeah, he's building, I won't say an army, but uniting the crawlers to build kind of an army. And he even goes like, you know what? We got to get the NPCs on our side too, because they aren't here by choice.
It's the scene in that we discussed last week where the fairy lady who was supposed to heal Katya and her 2 daughters, Carl's like, look, I'm sure you'll find another team. It just can't be with us. We're never going to trust each other. I like that mentality of like, hey, he knows like we can't work in close contact, but that doesn't mean he's given up on them, and he will still fight for them. And eventually I think they'll also fight for him.
You
Like,
could
that kind of
really
relationship.
feel his regret that things had to go that way. But,
Yeah.
but it was like, there's just no other choice.
But that's a mature decision, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a recognition that you got to part ways and it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not going to be okay. They're
I
in a
mean,
dungeon.
not for
They're in a
them.
death dungeon. Things are awful.
A few things that happen in this section that are worth mentioning is Carl and Donna go to see Firebranding in the Nightmare Express, and she's spoken to Tisquick the dwarf, and they both know what's going on at this point. Like, they know that their backstories aren't real, that they're children. For Firebranding, more tragically, every time that she's resurrected, she has, you know, between 1 and 3 children that she never sees again after a floor collapses.
Yeah,
and
that's really heavy. And it was a sad scene because, like, he's recognized that she has awareness, but he still, like, doesn't know how to kind of say goodbye to her. So he's like, take care of those kids.
Well, this scene in particular, it's them checking on her at the Nightmare, which is parked close by.
Mm-hmm.
And she's with Tisquick, and they've been talking, and Tisquick has had a very similar kind of mourning for the story that he had that
his
was
lost daughter. Yeah.
his daughter. And that word spread through other employees, and that they all like found Madison, the HR lady, and they hung her.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's a really dark little scene that the first time I read it, I thought it was just kind of like, here's some information. But for some reason, this time reading it, it hit me a little bit different. It hit me a little harder.
You know what Carl says in that scene that I thought was interesting? He's like, she didn't deserve that. Well, the version of her that was down here kind of did deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's seeing this duality of all these people that they are fed programming of a character that they have to act like. It's like Westworld in that way, where they have to reenact as this other being, and they have to act as evil or as benevolent as their programming. But there's an innocence even behind that he's pretty generous to recognize.
Yeah, he is, because especially with her and her, like, well, when my husband gets here, and it's just like, oh, sweetheart.
Oh, no.
And the condemning of all the other people that she knows are going to just die in certain situations, that she's like, that's their lot in life. That's tough shit for them. Like, it's just, it's heavy. It's sad in a way. Like, I thought how he leaves this situation with Brandy was revealing. I think it like makes me kind of rethink of the other interactions, even as far back as the goblins in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could spend the rest of your life feeling bad about some things you did in the past.
I will.
The other thing in this section is that they kill some more monsters, and it detonates a couple of soul crystals, and everybody thinks Carl did it when they feel the explosions go off.
They blame him for everything.
And
Anytime something blows up, they go like, oh, Carl, not again.
for good reason.
I have a question. Do you guys think that Matt Denneman planned a couple different options for the path Carl could have taken? Do you think it was just going to be like bomber? Or it was like, because he shows a capacity for like any of these, the wide array of different people's specialties and where that kind of leads them. I guess when you talk about him being like a person who is a pantser and like they're just kind of writing as they go and figuring it out as they go, it's interesting that he chose that Carl would be a bomber. He's a person that unites a bunch of other people and at the same time explodes a bunch of stuff, which I think would drive other people away from you.
Well, I mean, would it if what this person does is saving your life?
I mean,
Like if I was part of a group that was attacking something else or another group, I would love to have a bomber on my team.
I guess it's also reinforcing the whole Brunhild's daughters being afraid of him in that narrative, because it's like you see these crazy scenes of him, but you also legit see him blowing up shit all the time.
Right. But they're also seeing scenes of him blowing things up or killing people and then laughing about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like collecting the head of something he killed and laughing and putting it away.
Yeah, and cutting the goblin's hands off and having a good time doing it. Which he felt bad every time he did it.
But there is a known quantity, even a person with a gun, the bullet firing from that gun, its trajectory and the result. Bombs are such chaos that it just feels like this other wild card element.
Well, then
to
at
the
that
person.
point, the question is he a good bomber?
It is. Is he a good bomber?
He's a good bomber.
Is he precise in what he does?
Is he good at being a bomber?
And hey, if you got a guy with a gun on your team, he's going to take out some people.
Mhm.
If you got a guy with bombs on your team, he's going to take out a lot of people, and that's a whole lot less you have to worry about.
It's true. It's true. All right. So we get to, is this where the battle kicks off now?
Well, this is a part where there's a couple of province bosses and Carl's
they're kind of cleaning up shop. They're setting things up
Yeah, they go kill a province boss, and
like one does.
yeah, they do. They like pull it through the portal, send it to the abyss, and that's where they meet Prepotente and Miriam Dom.
What do you think of Prepotente and Miriam Dom? This is your first intro to them.
I love
You've deprived me of my prey.
I loved him.
Once again,
I love when he came back. He was the best.
once again, a British animal, sentient animal.
Yeah, but he's a fop.
in the book,
Yes.
the audio book, he sounds exactly like Sir Didymus from Labyrinth, the dog riding another dog, which is a funny. It's another funny reference to earlier in the book series. You had
yeah.
Yeah. I just thought of that. There's like I forget what kind of like dogs were riding other dogs.
But Donut hated him. They were.
And yet she seems to like Prepotente right off the bat.
Well,
Yeah, the
Prepotente-
voice there it's so good.
Because he's full of affectations, which is something she would be totally into.
It's also really weird that both of the Pet Biscuit enhanced pets that we've seen have had English accents.
Yeah.
This is something I also was going to talk to you maybe on a Patreon deep crawl, but now we can talk about it here. Isn't it weird that there are 2 animals in the top 10? Like of all the beings, he's put 2 animals, and I'm like, okay, Matt Dinman has an affection for animals.
Mhm.
But I guess also having those specialty pet biscuits just gave you such an early advantage over a lot of the humans.
Possibly. I mean, depending on how it goes, because we've learned that some pets that get pet biscuits get turned into either something useless, or sometimes they just apparently melt, or sometimes they turn into demons, like demon goat things.
Yeah. With massive pendulous human breasts. Is that what they said?
I think so, yeah.
Like human breasts on the bottom of this goat thing, this winged goat beast. I don't know. However they describe it, I'm like, what is going on with that? It's going to be so fascinating to see in the TV show.
When is that coming out?
It's still really early.
TBD.
Okay.
I don't even know if they've even
Okay. All right.
written a script. I don't even know where they're at. I think they've merely optioned it.
I guess you guys posted a pic of some manga that's some
Oh yeah, there's
called
some
manga.
webtoon thing that someone's done that's in collaboration. I don't know. I think it actually just released
Today.
Is
Oh,
it
really?
today? Okay, so we haven't checked it out yet.
So when we recorded this today, not when this is out. By the time this is out, the webtoon, which is an infinite scroll manga, serialized manga thing.
I'm curious to see another interpretation,
Yeah.
or at least a visual interpretation of what of the stories.
But yeah, when he meets Prepotente, Carl, I should have known such a colossal fuck up could only be perpetrated by a colossal dolt.
Hey,
It's immediately combative.
if you guys aren't going to do the British accent, then just don't.
Yeah,
even-
can you try that again, please?
I don't
Brian?
have a British accent.
Do you?
No.
I could do him as a Mexican.
Can we have a Mexican Prepotente, please?
Carl, I
Yes,
should have known such a colossal fuck up could only be.
That's a exactly the same.
I'm a Mexican.
Perfect.
Carl, I should have known such a colossal fuck-up could only be perpetrated by such a colossal dolt.
I love everything about meeting Prepotente and Miriam down finally. We get teased with them a bunch through like the earlier recaps. We see the goat lady and all the goats that she's with, and right now it's only her and those two that we can see. So who knows what happens? And she seems like a really, really sweet lady too. She's they I think she's described as a plumper Italian grandma type.
You know, it's funny. I always imagine her as like Angelica Houston or something like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm off there.
No, you're totally off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like she's more like Professor Sprout from Harry Potter instead.
You see Professor Sprout everywhere.
Always saying Professor Sprout for everyone. Prepotente also a little bit Professor Sprout, I think. I don't know. So where are we at now?
Oh, they leave there and they're heading toward the train yard so they can access and connect to the employee line and get people to safety. Or I think maybe I forget what they're gonna do. There's so much shit that happens. But there's some mantars blocking access to the line. So Carl asks Mordecai, hey, what if I accidentally summoned the war god Grull? And Mordecai's like, get the hell out of there. Take my potion, get out of there. Don't stick around. This is horrible.
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention?
What?
So he teams up once again with Li Na, Li Jun, and Zhang.
Zhang.
And they are they're kind of awesome. Like Zhang's like an earthbender. Li Jun is kind of like Liu Kang. I guess he's like kind of like flipping and jumping off of shit. And then Li Na, she's like this
like a demon.
Skull demon with chains. I guess not skull, but like this demon with chains that she can like, wrap over people, and but it's like, don't touch her. You touch her, you die.
Yeah, you lose all your bowels.
Yeah.
If you touch her.
And all of them like bring other elements that are fun to see, like how they can help out Carl in this moment.
Yeah, him saving them was the best investment he could have made.
Yeah, right?
Especially considering that like one of them was in the top 10 briefly, Li Jun, and then Li Na, his sister, from what he can tell, should be.
Yeah.
She should be in the top 10 because she's a certified like scary badass.
Yeah, I love that scene also with Prepotente going, hey, don't you like there are like 5 of us in the top 10 here in this room, and Carl's like, and one person who was in the top 10 also.
Oh yeah. Immediately wants to give him recognition too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, Prepotente I think has been like number 2 pretty consistently since he's made the top 10 list.
Yeah, we don't know why.
Well,
really.
I mean, we do know a little bit why, because he was like the reason they met him was because Prepotente was camped outside next to a city boss lobbing potions at him, and it would have taken him another 2 hours to get that guy weak enough so he could stop his heart and kill him.
Yeah, so I
by
guess
himself, like a fucking city boss by himself.
Is the reveal there that like his method for killing people is kind of this slow euthanasia, which is not very exciting to show in the recap, so they just haven't been showing.
Let me just tell you, the name Prepotente is Italian for, I think it's Italian, but it's also like some of the Spanish languages for stubborn and aggressive. Like that's just what his name, he is his name. He's stubborn and aggressive.
And he's a goat. They're stubborn and aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
So they set about doing, I also really love this sequence. They have the mantars, and Carl's like, all right, what if I summon a god?
No, don't do that.
Like we've seen enough exposure of like, okay, we, the audience, are already kind of scared about what an invulnerable god will be. So bringing that element of unpredictable chaos into the situation, that's perfect. That's what the end of this book needs.
Well, Carl has noticed enough about this summoning where he knows that he can use his gauntlet on one of these mantars. Each time he hits it is a compounded chance to begin a 10-second summoning of this god Grull. And then he asks, can I summon him again? How long till I can summon him again? So...
Which he kind of knows the answer from the cookbook.
Yeah, he kind of knows the answer, but still, like, his thinking is, if I have one of these mantars, summon Grull, chuck him through a portal, let him clean up shop, and then beat up this other mantar, start another summoning, throw him into another portal, get this god from one place to the next. That first place will be clean. I could take our people through there, and everything will be safe and awesome.
I love that Matt Dittman never makes things confusing. Portals are going to make shit confusing.
True, but that one I got.
Yeah, this was one of the easier ones to understand.
It is still one of those where I have to almost whiteboard draw a diagram in my mind. So I'm like, okay, it's going to this one's going to go through there and then it's going to get sucked over to this other one here. Okay, I got it.
But of course, Carl has an invulnerable foot that Mantar grabs onto while he's getting chucked through that portal and drags him into Train Yard A.
They just did not think to bind the Mantar's hands.
Yeah. So Train Yard A now has Carl.
He's got 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's got Carl, a god that's going to be summoned, a city boss, and then a bunch of other monsters that are broken off of that city boss. And it's just, it's chaos.
It's chaos. And I think he says he helps, or Mordecai kind of helps him math out how long a god would last. And it's about 5 minutes or so. And so he's like, I got to try and survive for 5 minutes.
Before he can be summoned again.
Before he would disappear.
Oh.
Girl would last. The summoning would last for about 5 minutes.
Right.
So he has to try and outlast about 5 minutes. And there's a part of Carl that kind of is almost ready to give up.
Part of Carl,
at least his mentally, he's saying this isn't going to be survivable.
Once the plan goes awry, when he gets pulled in, he's like, oh, well, I'm fucked. I'm going to die.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I just got to keep everybody else safe.
I mean, his actions don't kind of mesh up with what he's thinking, because he's still making the moves. He's taking a invisible potion and running and flipping and trying to survive. But at the same time, he's like, oh yeah, this is fucked. Donut, get away from me. Go team up with Amani and crew. They'll take care of you. That's him saying his last wishes.
Sure. The other interesting thing in this was the gift from Grull's sister of the crossbow.
And the arrow that can pierce a god's eye.
Yeah, but even Carl's like, we aren't even strong enough to use this. This thing is almost useless.
This is just a message.
Yeah.
This is just the sister telling the maestro, I fucking don't like you.
But it feels a little bit like a Chekhov's gun in the situation of that was introduced earlier on because now it's going to finally get used. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just another one of these kind of bait and switch things where they don't win through that, but they do win through a kind of a heartwarming scene where
the power of friendship.
Power of friendship. The buddies all come and rescue Carl.
Yeah, they all come in. The cavalry comes in, even with him protesting, no, get out of here. I don't want you to get killed. And they're like, shut up, Carl. We're here to save you.
Yeah, I posted the clip from a couple episodes back where we were talking about whether or not Carl could be considered a Mary Sue.
Mm-hmm.
It's moments like this that underline that Carl can fuck up too, and when you have a big cast of characters, other people can save his ass. It's not always just him saving them.
Yeah.
And those are kind of useful for balancing the scales, I think.
This was one of the things in the new Superman movie where it wasn't all about him. It was like, hey, you have other superpowered friends who can come and save you sometimes.
No spoilers, but it's very good. You guys should go see it. And woke.
Yes, for the first time, Superman is woke.
Yeah, go figure.
What's him caring about other people? Okay, so he gets dragged in there. He takes the invisibility potion. He's flipping around, and then coming to his rescue, he sees Donut all of a sudden running. Is he seeing through the portal initially?
I'm not sure, but he takes Mordecai's special brew.
Oh, right.
Which means that like when the god starts hitting him or anything around him.
Stepping on him is flattening him like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And his bones are just stitching back together, which sounds really painful.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible.
I've thrown my back out a couple of times, and I was just like, even like reading that, I was like, oh, my back. Like a sad old man.
He sees them coming with the cart, like all of his friends show up, and Katya is morphed into Carl.
Uh-huh.
She's transformed into Carl, and like she's giving him the double deuce, giving Grohl the double deuce. And
speaking of which, there was an earlier scene where she like sticks out her tongue and then makes a middle finger with her on her tongue. I thought it was such a cute, funny scene.
Yeah,
Can I just say also that before they show up, it's Ellie McGibbons who just flies in like a rocket and is just icing the shit out of Grohl, and like she's taking some kind of speed potion and is just in there for the first like minute and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
Just attracting the gods aggro.
Yeah, it's a total on your left Avengers Endgame moment where everybody comes through the portals.
Yeah, and she's another like top tenor, so she's another force to be reckoned with.
And somebody who kind of owes her life to Carl.
Yeah. True.
Multiple times.
Yeah, a bunch of times.
I mean, I think all of the people that come to rescue him, Carl is also selflessly rescued. And like, it's like, without a doubt, will come also rescue you. Because I think Carl imagines being the selfless sacrificial hero all the time for himself. And he doesn't recognize that other people around him also hold those virtues and are just as willing to lay down their lives for him. And that's something he should reckon with.
Yeah, luckily when they all came in, they brought in the other Mantar, but they took the bottom half off of him and both of his arms.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah, so it's just like the torso of a Mantar, which Carl, once his invulnerability wears off, goes over and punches it enough times to initiate another summoning. Then they throw him through a portal, and Grohl goes away.
It was a cool sequence.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It made all the cooler by the fact that it was the maestro piloting Grohl.
Yes. Here, Piglet.
Yeah.
The reveal that the maestro was still alive, only for us to also now realize that we're going to get them making fun of him more and embarrassing him. Like, this guy just keeps taking L's.
Well, even Donut was like, that guy had all the power of a god, and you still beat him. Like, he still couldn't kill you.
Like, Carl was talking about the idea of using each individual player's feed to have like an awareness of where people are. And I guess the idea that Grohl or the maestro should have been able to do the same thing if he had any sort of strategic mind for warfare.
Lucky for us, he isn't that smart.
Yeah. He's pretty dumb and he has no friends.
But I mean, that also makes me think, Carl, are you also like constantly like, is he able to see that as well? That's the thing. I guess he can't. But he would say, like, anyone outside the dungeon should have that visibility into different people's lenses, which is, that's another clever thought that is introduced into the books, that these outside forces have another level up in that they can see what everyone's doing, which makes them even all the more dangerous in potential later floors.
Yeah. And at this point, that blows some more soul crystals, and then they decide, well, let's just kill all the rest of the monsters with the Nightmare Express. We'll wire a bunch of bombs to it, and the boiler will go off and kill all the rest of the monsters, destroying all the rest of the soul crystals, and getting everybody else safe passage to stairwells, pretty much saving everybody.
Okay, so the idea is that if they blow up these soul crystals, is it that everyone else had to clear the other train stations so that they could blow this up and then they can go back in? Yes. Or that's where the explosions are happening? Okay.
Well, the soul crystals are going to kill all the crack heron monsters that have come out and flooded all the other stairwell station areas.
And then would that mean that some of the other crawlers are going to get killed in the blast?
Ah.
Okay. I mean, not the ones we care about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All of our friends are okay.
Wiping out these crack Karens also ruins their plans for not just global, but universal domination, where they wanted to spread across the universe and take over.
Well, I think these crack Karens are just the caricatures of the real one. Like, I think these are monsters based on the crack heron and not the actual crack herons that are this replicating mind.
Okay. Well, I know one thing was that they talked about that with these soul crystals blowing up is like, man, this is going to cost Bourne a lot of money. Like, the more they do to try to make money, the more they're going broke.
Keep losing money.
Yeah.
Like, shit, how are we so bad at this? There was a part earlier on where Mordecai learns that mimics are in the game, and he
starts laughing.
In the audiobook, Jeff Hayes has a frog alien doing a laugh that is so funny sounding. I can't do it justice.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. I'll play an audio clip of it. That's
look
much
out,
better.
Jeff Hayes. He's coming for your job.
Me and the Mexican Prepotente here.
It's me, Prepotente. I'm a Mexican.
Does that say station mimic? They really went all out.
So they
do that.
The portal's open and people start filing in.
What's Firebrandy and Quick decide to go down with the train.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They die.
Carl says glurp glurp motherfucker.
He does say glurp glurp motherfucker. There's also a thing where Ellie asks him, hey, how do you know all this stuff? Like about the soul crystals and the, Nightmare Express.
Oh, and this is where he goes, the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook.
No, she does say, like, I think he has one of those, like, teacher's editions with all the answers in it. And Donna's like, he does. And Carl's like, what? And Donna's like, his name's Mordecai.
So does Donut really think it's Mordecai, or is she like, I'm on to you?
No, she thinks I'm sure she thinks it's Mordecai.
See, that's one of those things where I'm like, I never know since like this is all told through the perspective of Carl. It's like, how much do other people know?
Yeah.
Like, does Mordecai already like does he suspect about the cookbook and he's not saying anything? Because Carl's like, not sure. And then we keep finding out more and more things that Donut seems to know, but didn't seem like that initially. It's fun kind of unwrapping and like learning these layers.
Even somebody saying like, it's like you have a teacher's edition. And you're like,
why is it so hot in here?
There was also a system message at this point that a champion has fallen.
Oh yeah,
somebody in the top 10 has died, and we don't know who.
Oh right.
Yeah. It's probably Prepotente.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, it's probably that fucking goat pissed off Miriam Domsum.
I want to see the guy with the alligator head.
I know.
What was his name?
Florin.
Yeah.
Florin.
They keep mentioning him, but not showing us anything of him.
Well, maybe we'll see him in the next book then. Or whatever happened.
You guys are like Mordecai.
There was a part where Ellie said, hey, what about that nuke you have in your inventory, Carl? I bet you that would, kill all the creatures in the abyss. And Carl says, I'm saving that for something very specific. So he has an idea of what he's going to use that for eventually, but we don't.
Everyone's so cryptic.
I know.
You think he's going to kill Mordecai for slapping him earlier?
Possibly.
That's what I'd use it on.
But for something like this, like, he's got to watch what he says, because this is being tunneled out.
For sure. No, for sure. Plus, the more this goes on, the more he's like, he goes from, you're not going to break me, to, I'm going to break you.
I'm going to kill every last fucking one of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also, they talk about, you kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, but they talk about like, have we maybe misjudged Lucia Mahar? And I thought that was an interesting one. Like, she's another top 10 one. And I know we kind of touched on it, like, yeah, maybe she's fine, but we have her, we have Florin and Fetchy and the brothers that we haven't seen. So there's like all these other top 10 ones kind of floating around there.
So the only thing we have from Lucia Mahar from her own mouth was her calling out Donut.
Yeah, vowing to kill Donut.
Yeah, but that's on a talk show where you're encouraged
You got
to
play
be
it up.
a WWE wrestler.
It's also funny. We've only seen a couple kids in the dungeon. We know of Frank and Maggie's daughter.
Yeah.
And then like Lucia Mahar seems to be younger. She's like 14 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not like a lot of other
No.
little kids. So, but
I mean, I would think they wouldn't make it.
Yep.
probably not. But but Lucia being in the top 10, that's as impressive as animals being up there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's around this time that we do learn about Carl's parents. The suicide murder plot, the whole thing. Real sad. I feel like it's real sad.
Let's not end on that.
Carl tells Donut that she shouldn't have tried saving him. And Donut says, I'm not going to abandon you, Carl. Who do you think I am, Miss Beatrice?
Uh-huh.
I thought that was real sweet.
Yeah.
So she totally knows.
She knows.
Yeah.
She knows
It's like,
everything.
wait, you know this whole time?
So okay, from your perspective, because this is your first read, do you think that she's pieced it together while they've been in the dungeon, or do you think she knew kind of from the beginning?
Back of her head, subconsciously, she knew.
Or they just talked about it around her
Yeah.
when they thought she was just a fucking cat.
Right. And she picked up on it. But now that she really has the power of speech, she can piece it together. And from little things Carl has said and her thinking about it, she knows what's up.
There's a whole lifetime of us humans having experiences and being able to process things through time. For her to suddenly switch to this level of consciousness, there's something that I keep thinking about of like in those quiet moments for Donut, it's like a flood of like, how do I like kind of come to grips with all this? And she has a higher intelligence that maybe helps her with processing stuff.
But yeah, there's an adjustment period probably. And that's something that we know that over and over again, we're shown that Matt Dinniman understands about his characters is that sometimes it takes them a while to adjust to something new. We saw that with the maestro in Grull. When Grull gets summoned, some of the first thing he does is he figures out how his body works, and he starts swinging this giant axe around to figure out the heft of it.
Yeah.
It isn't just like a magic switch that people just get pulled into. There's a lot of adjustment that happens.
And over the course of the last has it been 2 weeks?
Yeah.
She can see a difference in how Carl treats her as opposed to how B treated her.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's rescuing her and she goes, hey, the other one was going to get rid of me?
Yeah.
We also see Agatha pop up again.
Yeah.
Like they're about to go down the stairs. It turns into a ramp and she just kind of cackles and passes them again. It's like
she's still a human. She's level 8, hasn't chosen a class.
Yeah, everybody else's level is close to 30, and she's 8, but just still walking around like nothing. And
still with a flamingo in her
cart. And Ellie's like, hey, what the hell? Carl's like, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
But
And knowing how everyone operates in the dungeon, they won't talk later.
Well,
he won't tell her shit.
Well, it keeps increasing where, okay, they used to have a private chat and now that's gone. Like the viewers and everybody it's more intrusive now. So when will he have an opportunity to tell her what he knows about
Good question.
Yeah, how can you communicate when people can see everything?
They get a chat from Loida, the PR agent, the new PR agent, the Bloom affiliated new PR agent that is not Zev.
Right. Like Zev has been put on timeout to get what was the term?
Re-education.
Re-education.
Yeah.
That never sounds good.
No.
So they don't say that she's gone for good, but that she's temporarily getting re-educated they basically say that the
She's on a
Balloon
pip.
Party is like a bunch of Nazis and they're the leading party now, and they are just kind of controlling other people while their Borant experiment here in the dungeon's just falling apart.
But
it
that-
seems like everything's shitty.
Loida will remain their PR agent, and when Zev comes back, she's going to handle their social media. Yeah. So
quite a demotion.
big time. Yeah.
I didn't know that their social media was being handled, I guess.
Well, now it is.
They have social media? What is I guess what's the extent of that versus whatever.
What are you doing?
I don't know why I'm like getting bogged down on that. I'm like, how the roles? What's the pay?
It's still really frustrating because she's really mean. She just seems cruel and curt and straight to business.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay.
And very controlling.
So we get this, the final chapter of this epilogue is on Odette's show. And we see the relationship between Loida and Odette. And it seems
they have a history.
They have a history and it's combative and like, fuck you. And then them laughing like it's manic. I guess it's like how they're like, they have these up and downs and they're in each other's face and then they're like giggling about stuff. And I'm like, what?
Well, I
What
wonder
is
if it's
that?
like one of those showbiz relationships where all the laughing, it's all very fake.
And it's all just jockeying for power between two narcissists.
Yeah. Like when they're yelling, that's genuine. And then they come back to their LA fakeness.
And oh man, when Odette gets censored by Loida, like on the show, Loida stops her and has her like get away from a certain subject. And when they start arguing about it,
Start saying something about Chris.
Oh yeah, and it mutes.
yeah, that's like backstage, and they've had a couple of parts of the conversation where they mute themselves from the crawlers, so the crawlers can't hear what they're arguing about. But one of them is about, your grandmother wasn't as strung up as you are, and it's not like I said anything about how Chris, and then it mutes out,
And then something about Heckla and Ava that she starts saying, and then that gets muted as well. Yeah, it's like, we're now missing out on all these juicy clues. We, the audience, are getting punished here. That's not fair. We're the reader.
Well, if Carl can't hear it, then we can't know about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, like I think it was right before this, Carl actually does an entry into the cookbook talking about how, you guys who are reading this, who've been writing this, have done a lot of good talking about making actual changes, but none of you guys have done anything. We need to start.
You bunch of pieces of shit.
We need to
Slack division.
But he says we need to start.
slacktivism.
We need to start killing them as much as they're killing us.
Yeah.
We need to fucking break them. We need to take them down. So that was like really cool.
It was pretty exciting. But it was also funny that like he's like, these are my brothers and sisters in this book. You bitches ain't doing shit. Step it up.
And the last thing that happens is that they leave from the show and end up in this big warehouse room where there's a couple of wheels to spin, and they have to like spin the wheel and figure out where they're going to end up at the beginning of the next floor. And what's chosen is the dirigible gnome wasteland fortress, and they're going to be in the sky quadrant.
Yeah, that's right. Because they choose air, and then the gnome whatever fortress, and they have to storm it. And I was like, they did that in book 2. Yeah, they'll be fine. But with the Skyfile, they went up there.
Right.
So we're already familiar with it.
Yeah.
Should be fine. Yeah, I mean, I guess as far as locations, if they had land, sea, air, and subterranean, we already got the dungeon. They've done some air stuff. Give us this sea. Make them deal with the water. A cat in water.
I'm sure it'll come up later.
Yeah. If there's anything about this book, everything that's just been teased here will happen like as much as you need it to in the next book.
Well, I think with that, we have covered book 3, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We want to, once again, thank all of you for tuning in to check this out. We want to give a shout out to our crawlers that are on the leaderboard or whatever, the crawler board, including Christian Casanon, Gilbert Sanchez, Francisco Ortero, Aldo Necco, Adam Green, Noel Mead, and Ryan and Ryan.
Ooh.
Ryan and Ryan?
Ryan and Ryan.
Okay.
Like Simon and Simon, I think.
Okay. All right.
I think I said that last time, too.
I think you did.
Yeah. And we have a special segment now that we've added to the end of the episodes called Dungeon Crawler Extreme Dungeon Mayhem.
Blurp, blurp.
Glurp, glurp.
Glurp, glurp.
And we once again return to Aldo Necco, a level 24 barbarian thickromancer, who last we checked on was dead. He was crushed by a pile of trains in the abyss. And only an act of God could remove the weight of these trains from his body and give him a fighting chance of rethickening his body and getting back to the stairwell. And just then an act of God did arrive, my friends. A mantar came hurtling out of a portal high above, transforming as he fell into the massive body of the god Groll. The deafening roar of anger sounded almost whiny, and frankly a bit embarrassing, as Groll fell with such force onto the pile of trains, and they exploded up into the air. As did Aldo. And as he rocketed upward, he immediately rethickened his flattened corpse, and his upward trajectory shot him, conveniently, right through a two-way portal high in the sky. And out he came the other side of the portal, flying over a massive horde of crawlers, desperately stampeding toward the stairwell. He landed actually right atop the stairwell. He was so close. But then the stampede of crawlers already had that momentum, and they just crushed him once again to death.
What the hell?
As they rushed down, stomping him once more to death. His crushed body caught on the stiletto of a level 18 orc pimp walker, who dragged him down the stairs to floor 5. You made it!
Oh.
Level 18 orc pimp walker?
Whatever these things pop up with.
So I guess he didn't have Mordecai's magic brew, huh?
But that's not all, because meanwhile...
Wait.
He accidentally fell into a wood chipper.
Meanwhile, Adam Green, our latest member of Deathwatch Extreme Dungeon Mayhem, a level 26 Death Larva wellness influencer, and his 4 companions were traveling down a railroad track of the Mandara line when all of a sudden they heard a rapidly approaching cart on the tracks behind them. They tried to run. His teammate fired an ice bolt at the man, woman, and cat on the track, but it was too late. They were hit by a portal and suddenly found themselves at Train Yard E. So weird. Then they saw to their delight that there was a stairwell here. Sweet. They were saved. They could just move toward that stairwell station, and they would just hang tight until they could just descend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh.
Suddenly, a gigantic mimic city boss appeared in the room, brutally splattering the group to death.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
How is it that when Matt writes it, it's good? But when you literally just write what you wrote, it fucking sucks.
I don't have that voice.
Oh, so that's not ChatGPT who wrote that?
I feel like if you want to do the Matt Gentleman Patreon tier, you're going to get much better quality than our Patreon tier.
He's not going to write this, though. I mean, he already wrote it. Let's just be straight. This is plagiarism. But it's bad plagiarism.
Well, we do all appreciate you guys. Not all of us appreciate my writing.
Right.
And that's fine. Once again, we're going to be back in 2 weeks for book 4, The Gate of the Feral Gods. Gods?
Yeah, gods. You read chapters 1 all the way through to the end of 6.
Chapters 1 through 6. That's it. We're going to be back in 2 weeks. And until next time, get out there and read.